Hello, I'm Andrew Brzezowski.
And I'm Akarsh, and this is the Brussian
An
experience.
experience. We still have yet to figure out an intro. So, Akarsh, what are we talking about today? Well,
Well, last time we
awesome.
alluded to watching It Comes as night. It Comes at Night.
And we did do that. We did do that right afterwards too. So we are going to talk about It Comes at Night. We also yesterday we just saw the movie.
Sorry to bother you.
Sorry to bother you. And we sat there together in theaters, and then we got up, and I said, "We'll talk about it tomorrow," and we said no words. So this will be the first time we're really talking to each other about it.
And if time, other topics.
And have time other topics. But okay, so first things first.
It Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night.
I didn't like the movie.
You do not like
I
the
didn't
movie.
like the movie.
Okay. I went to my brother's this weekend, and I told him that It Comes at Night would be. What did I say about the movie? I told him that his girlfriend would not like it because it would be way too slow for her. My brother, I don't think he'd mind it being too slow because there's like the meaning behind it. Sorry, I'm eating food. The meaning behind it, and I mean it's really obvious like what they're trying to say by the end of the movie. And this is what I have to say about It Comes at Night. Normally, I really, really like movies that are like symbolic, even if they're slow.
But this wasn't that symbolic.
I mean, symbolic maybe isn't the right word, but I like movies that are profound, and there was meaning behind it.
How was it
for sure.
profound?
The ending, I feel like the ending.
Okay, that's the only part of the movie I like.
Right.
That's the
The
only part of the
ending
movie I like.
and the kind of twist, like
It's not really. It's not, I don't know.
maybe
It's a
not.
twist if you look into it.
Right, but
It's a twist if you look.
my point is, normally if a movie is like profound or symbolic or like that, I can look past most or all of its flaws, but I it was so painfully slow, and you and I both kind of agreed the acting was meh.
Oh, it was horrible.
And
I
so,
hated it.
For that reason, like I, as much as I liked the meaning behind the movie, I was just like, it drove me a little nuts too. So I can see where you're coming from when you say you didn't like it, but I thought it was fine. I just thought we've now seen the whole
I haven't seen
trilogy.
Wish. I haven't seen.
Oh
Wish.
yeah, you haven't seen. I've seen all three of the A24 horror films, the most recent ones, and I would say that was the weakest of the three.
I did not like it, so I'm looking at it more from a movie standpoint
Mhm.
rather than a horror standpoint. It was incredibly slow. The acting was terrible besides Joel Edgerton's, cause like I forgot the guy who comes in, like the guy who's like, the
Will?
thief. Yeah, I think Will.
Mhm.
He was horrible. Like he was just he was loud when he needed to be quiet. He was quiet when he needed to be loud. Like he just didn't know how to act.
Yeah.
The black kid who was okay.
Yeah.
I forgot like the kid like his
Yeah,
his
I
kid.
can't remember his name. It was been what, a week since we saw this
Yeah,
movie.
that
So,
kid was okay. He wasn't that good, but the story was very one dimensional.
I agree with that.
It was very one dimensional.
In the sense that it was just like, I don't know, it was very like straightforward plot.
Yeah,
And I think the directors probably tried to keep it so basic because they're like more trying to like deliver a message about what would happen in situations like this and when humans are faced with tough decisions, etc. But
I see. It's been done better though.
it's just been so, it was just like, yeah, it was very streamlined though.
It's
I agree.
been done better, and I liked the ending. I liked how like the idea of the ending,
Right.
but like I didn't like how it was executed though.
Yeah.
Cause it's just very like it just like happens like that. Like it like you don't like you have like no time to react really.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
And like it doesn't like lead up to it. Like it just says like, oh, it happens. This is
No,
how
I
it
agree with that actually too because it wasn't like we talked about the other A24 film, Hereditary.
it left small
Hereditary is
breadcrumbs.
like
It left small
well, not
breadcrumbs.
even that, but it's just like it gradually got like more intense. Well, this movie was just like kind of slow the entire film, and
It
then
just picks up the last 10 minutes.
yeah, boom, like out of nowhere. I agree with that.
So I think if they gave the last 10 minutes of this movie to Hereditary, that would have been a masterpiece.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah. It Comes at Night. So I mean, did you give it a rating?
I gave it a 6.5.
Okay.
So I mean, like, it's not like a failing score, but like it's like I wouldn't watch this movie again.
Okay. And actually, I agree with you on that.
I wouldn't recommend it though.
Have you seen any other movies this week?
I saw The Gift.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. You know what movie I saw at my brother's? I saw. Oh, first of all, I saw Ocean's 13 because I'd never seen any of the Ocean's movies before.
Why 13?
I don't know. My brother said they like 13 and 11.
Why didn't you watch 11? Like I feel like that's kind
I
of.
don't know. That's a good question. But I will say, I also watched this movie called The Endless.
I don't know what that is.
It's a very indie film. Oof. It was. I don't know if I would recommend it. I'm gonna pause it for a moment. Yeah, and so then we saw Sorry to Bother You, and I think this is gonna be the meat and potatoes
yeah.
of the podcast. So,
Would you recommend it comes at night though?
oh, well, I recommend It Comes at Night. It Comes at Night. I recommended it to my brother, and I recommend it to people who, like, really like movies that sort of are thought provoking. But I wouldn't recommend it if you're like looking for, like, a thriller or a horror movie. I wouldn't recommend it if you're like looking for some action. But if you're willing to sit through an hour and a half of an indie film to get to a message, then I would definitely.
I even with that, I wouldn't recommend it.
Give me an example of a movie that's done it better, though.
Well, when I watch horror movies like that, I just think of Shaun of the Dead, but it's like completely not even the same.
Yeah.
It's like not even the same.
No,
Like Dawn of the Dead, that's done it better.
keep it down a little.
Dawn of the Dead's
Yep.
done it better. 28. What's the one?
28 Days Later?
Yeah.
Oh, I hated that movie.
Oh,
But, I don't know.
sorry.
Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I did not like 28 Days Later. But maybe I didn't watch close enough.
I don't know. It's just better. I feel like there was a newer one that came out,
28 Weeks Later?
not that one. World War Z even did it better.
Maybe.
World
Maybe.
War Z did it better. World War Z wasn't like a great movie. But it was a watch. It was a good like summer movie
Yeah, I agree.
when it came out.
Okay, so now we'll move on.
Sorry to bother you.
It's okay.
What would you give?
No,
it?
I know, sorry. It's okay as in a making a joke.
Funny joke.
Okay, so what would I give it? Oh, you're going to be astounded by this, but I actually would say I think I have no choice but to give it a 9.5.
What? No.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
And if you were gonna, the other question that you would ask me is, do I think it's a masterpiece in its genre? I would say yes, absolutely.
But what's his genre though?
That's true. His genre was almost like sci-fi comedy, like, I mean,
Oh, by the way, this is gonna be this one's gonna have spoilers.
oh yeah, we're gonna start on general thoughts, but then we're gonna.
Cause like
Well.
You've had so much time now to watch
Yeah,
it,
that's true. Yeah,
You've had,
watch
like-
the movie.
and like it's such a niche movie that like even if you like
Would you recommend it though?
I know 8.5 is still I would give it an 8.5.
Yeah, you didn't
I'd
say
give it
that
an
already.
8.5. I'd give it 8.4 actually. I'd give it an 8.4.
Oh really? This is-
Because that's what I gave Get Out. Like
Oh, okay.
I feel like they're like very like
Actually, I agreed. That's what I came home to my parents. I said, if you liked Get Out, I bet you'd like this movie.
yeah.
You know?
I like both of the movies. I mean that's still like a good score.
Right.
I would watch it again. I would recommend it.
Mhm.
It's just that I don't know. I think I've known about this movie longer than you have, though. I've known about this movie for like.
That's true, but I don't even feel like that helps because
No, it really doesn't help
you
you.
expect.
No,
I mean,
no,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. My brother-
In the middle of the movie, I thought like, okay, the trailer kind of ruined this movie because I've watched the trailer and like I could basically like predict stuff, but then even when those stuffs were predictable, but then after you get to one scene and like one part of the movie, you're like, holy, what the
Yeah.
heck is this?
my brother just told me, he said, you watch the trailer and you think it's about a guy who starts acting white and then he moves up in the ranks because of it, and that is what the movie is about. Like,
Yeah.
that is what the movie's about. But my brother just said I didn't feel prepared for this movie because they don't really cue you into what this movie's going to be, and I would agree with that, very generally speaking.
And I liked how this was not a social commentary, like as much of a social commentary movie, like off race, I would say. Not as much as I thought it would be going in. It was more about classism.
I would say
It was more about class.
because from what I read and what I interpreted myself, the two biggest themes were capitalism
I mean, yeah, okay.
and race.
How so much race though?
Yeah, I would say so. Race, inequality. That's what I'm looking for. Race inequality, and I'll talk about that in a moment too, because we're gonna start getting into spoilers. But, so Okay, you know what? Yeah, actually, we are going to start spoilers right now. So get out. Ah. Okay. So first, just tell me what didn't you like about the movie?
Okay, this is what I thought about the movie in general. Before I before I go into specifics.
Right. Okay.
The acting was good. The
I was gonna say
screen
the acting was definitely good.
the screenplay was good.
Okay.
The storyline was good. I just feel like the pacing in the movie was really good for 3/4 of the movie. The final fourth, I felt like the pacing just like it just went like it was just gone. Like
They definitely just kind of
it just they lowball you. They like they say, oh, this is what happens now, and like you really get like, and like it just kind of happens, and then like you get like a couple of scenes, and then that's how the movie ends.
So.
But that's what the movie's basically about, right. Though, is that one scene with
this
that one scene where he's sitting with the guy getting an offer what to do.
All right. This movie, to me, I recognize that a lot of people would watch this movie and absolutely hate it. They think it's utter trash. I know there would be a lot of people though.
I feel like there would be, yeah.
But I think that okay, wait, hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry, we just wanted to do a very quick sound check. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend this movie to everybody because there are some people who would be like,
no, I would.
I know, but I do feel like there's certain types of people who would just not be attracted to this type of film. But I would say the reason I give it such a high score and I like this movie is because this was like my type of movie. It was like weird, and it was but it was also very profound, and I can deal with an indie film like that. What I texted my brother, who recommended me the movie right afterward, or initially, I texted him. I said, "Hard to dissect, very Black Mirror, Twilight Zone type, even knowing it was labeled."
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Even knowing it was
especially
labeled.
That pigs episode.
Yeah. Even knowing it was labeled as a fantasy, nothing could have prepared me for that. I left feeling like it was like if Clockwork Orange and Get Out had a baby. Crazy.
How so much Clockwork Orange?
Just in its quirkiness.
Okay.
Crazy good, lots of symbolism that I have yet to sort through in my head. And then I told him about the quote thing with the, it's just telemarketing. We're not rewriting the human genome. And then later they do.
No, my favorite Danny Glover part was when he says, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
Oh yeah.
In the movie.
Yeah.
That guy, I laughed when I heard that because like they're just like, I thought that was a good.
The Get Out comparison is fair because it definitely has horror types, but it also has.
I feel like it's like.
But also
first of all,
a lot of comedy.
But Get Out's basically a comedy.
I mean, yeah, somewhat.
Get Out, because at the Golden Globes, Jordan Peele put it in as a comedy.
Yeah, but that's because
to get in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on,
to get in, but
well,
but here's the thing: is I've known about this movie for a while. I like the actors before, like Lakeith Stanfield. He's like in every black movie.
He's in Get Out.
He's in Get Out. He's in Dope. He's in Atlanta, which I love. Atlanta. I love the first season of Atlanta. The second season was good, but not as good. Have you watched Atlanta?
I've not seen Atlanta.
Watch Atlanta. Atlanta's really good. The first season's like incredible. People like the second season more. I thought it was good. It wasn't as good.
All right. Okay.
He's in something else.
So, if I may,
he's in this movie.
One of the things that I loved so much about this movie, and I'm like very excited to talk about this right now. And that one of the things that I got that I really liked about this movie was that the character development was really good.
Yeah, okay.
And here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. Because a good movie, right? Like a lot of people like Three Billboards, like we talked about last episode. And one of the things that people really liked about Three Billboards, from what I had heard from people, was that
it has good
every single character.
Yeah, it develops.
Is has flaws and has good traits.
I never
every single character is like super gray, and that's honestly true in this movie too. Because
I don't think everyone develops. Only Cassius.
Detroit develops. Here's the thing. Well,
Cassius is the main, and then his
not necessarily maybe develops, but you see that because initially you're led to believe that Detroit is just like, like she's like ripping on Cassius for basically like selling himself and for.
But she still does that.
That's what I'm saying, and I really like that part where he starts being like, you're selling art about Africa to like rich white people. and you're like basically doing the exact same thing I am. Like she puts on a voice still, you know, and also kind of like gives Africa to she just kind of gives into that like societal pressure, and they literally use it as like Africa is being used for like white people's pleasure or white exploitation again. But I really much liked that they kind of showed like the flaws in characters and didn't make it such like a black and white.
I like that it wasn't really a black movie.
Okay,
Like,
I wasn't talking about race there. I meant morally. Sorry,
Okay.
but go ahead.
When I going, I thought it was gonna be more of like a race movie. And coming out, I felt it was less about race than I wanted it to be, which I liked a lot because it made it more universal. I would have said.
I don't know. I still think I disagree with that, just because I thought it was going to be like a movie about race, and I definitely would say it was, because I mean,
Not as much so as I thought, though.
what part of that movie did not like? I mean,
Because it was never so blatantly about race.
I'm giving him a face right now.
How?
Come on. I mean, you say it was about
Besides Detroit's character. Besides
Okay.
Detroit's character.
But besides Detroit's character, how about the fact that they're like hinting at it with the fact that every white person,
Okay.
every white person
In the
is-
party, yeah, okay.
Well, not just in the party. Did you? Every single character in that movie, every single white person in that character, they speak
Well,
to a
that's
black
what-
person in like a black person voice.
Okay.
I noticed
okay,
that
okay.
within the first 10 minutes of the movie. I was like, oh my god, every single.
Okay.
And every single black character tried to speak white. I tried to put on like white accent or just the white voice, whatever. But every single white person was also like trying to like speak in
But
like
that's
a
not more
black
about.
voice. I mean, it's about.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Plus, I mean, I would agree that it's about class, but the thing that made me really hard.
I feel it's not more about race in general, but more about how, like, people of a minority have to like adapt to a higher class, and how they're treated as like basically like, oh, how's your life like? Because like remember at the party where he goes like, well, have you ever busted cap in someone's ass?
Right.
They're treated like trophies, and like
Yeah.
okay, you definitely can rap.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely think race inequality was the central part of this, because
I thought it was more about capitalism.
well, because every single person who was like in the poor, or like who was in the union, or who was on like
The main
lower
guy was
ranks-
Asian.
minority. That's what I was gonna say. Minority.
It's the Bay Area. The Asians aren't the minority. in the
Okay.
movie.
What I'm saying though is purposefully they chose to make every single white person like high up and like bougie.
What about
And
the black guy who comes in and takes him in?
That's because he's acting all white.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's because he's acting like all white the entire time. No, I definitely believe that was about race inequality, given just how clearly they separated the minorities into that
Okay.
lower tier and the white people in the upper tier. I also think that you're right. They're like heavy themes of capitalism, though, only because in this movie, capitalism works exactly the way that it's supposed to.
Yeah.
In that you have the owner, you have the owner, you have the employer, you have the employee.
And
Unions are not necessarily as powerful as maybe they should be for the sake of workers' rights and things like that. But the movie shows capitalism exactly as it's working, and in this movie that they're highlighting, that means that minorities
to
are
an
kind
extreme.
of they're stuck in the bottom.
Would you say this is more of a also utopian kind of movie?
or like dystopian?
Dystopian, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Because the way they use like the commercials, the way they use.
the synopsis says it's set in like alternate reality of Oakland and
Okay.
the near future or whatever. Yeah, I would definitely say that. Also, on the capitalism thing, you have a lot of phrases like workhorse, or like oh god, I'm like blanking out on them. You have a lot of phrases about working that are related to horses, and that's kind of why they chose horses to be like the animal that they're.
And then he
morphing.
said, I remember like when he said like, why would you trade in the horses? He's like, why not?
Right.
He's like basically it's like.
Well, but okay, hold on. Keep talking about it. Oh wait, no, I found it. Yeah, like workhorse, beat a dead horse, horsepower, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, dark horse, hung like a horse, So there's like a lot of so they chose a horse obviously just because like historically we have used horses as like just kind of a animal simply for work, and that's it. Um, so the movie was
And
like
if you
very
think about it too, it's also basically how they basically, it's no different breeds of horse, but one breed of horse,
right.
making it so there's no individuality. It's more of
Yeah,
a
exactly.
uniform.
It's like yeah, exactly. Everybody is
Everyone's the
the
same
same.
breed of horse.
Right. Um, yeah, no, I thought the movie was really good, and you get from the start that it's like quirky, with like all
It's a
the
very
shots of like her earrings and stuff,
It's a very quirky movie.
But nonetheless, no, I would definitely recommend it. And oh, Cassius Green, I forgot. I didn't realize until now. I mean, I knew that he was called Cash because it's like money,
Cash
but
Green.
Cassius Green, yeah.
Oh, Cassius Green.
Yeah, that's what I
Oh.
said. I didn't see that until I just now. Um, yeah, because I just reading some Reddit comments. Oh my gosh, sorry. Reading some Reddit comments. It says Detroit also has many layers of symbolism. First thing is that Detroit Red was Malcolm X's nickname prior to his activism. Um, and there's a lot of good analysis that I found on the internet, but the movie is definitely like very very symbolic, and I thought the plot was good, even though
I
you're
thought
like
the
not
plot was good.
expecting any of it.
But would you say would you agree with me on the pacing though?
Um, yeah, there was some scenes that would probably be the only reason that I would ding it is just because there were some scenes where I was like wondering like why is this in the movie or like what's the purpose of this. Um, some of them you can reason through.
But I think what I like this movie is very unique. Is what I like about this movie. It is
Yeah.
very unique.
It's sort of similar to what people said about Get Out. It like trailblazes its own genre sort of thing.
No, but I feel like yeah, okay. Get Out's more of a comedy horror. I would say.
I know, but have you ever seen like a
Comedy.
comedy horror?
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I don't even know what that is.
I'll watch Tucker and Dale versus Evil. It's a good movie.
Oh god.
It's a good movie.
But yeah, I would say that movie does a really good job, and I would totally recommend it to people.
But I didn't get to finish about what I liked about the actors.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, Tessa Thompson, who we both like for different reasons.
Do we like her for different reasons?
No, liked from
Oh.
liked about her.
I liked her from Westworld. You liked her from
Creed. I liked her from
Creed.
Creed.
Okay, right, gotcha.
Glenn.
Glenn, I forget his name.
Stephen Ewan?
Oh, Stephen Ewan. Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
And who's the? Oh, Army Hammer, who's basically
I know him.
baby John Hamm.
I forgot.
Isn't he
that.
baby John Hamm?
He does remind me of John Hamm.
He's the same personality. He looks really similar to him, but just a younger
I
John
forgot
Hamm.
that was him. That was the same guy from Call Me by Your Name until like I was looking at the cast list and I was like, oh my god.
No, I knew it was Army Hammer for since the beginning.
Right. I don't know why I'm.
The white guy voice is Tobias from Arrested
yeah.
Development. Oh, also, right, I told you during the movie about how Steve Buscemi was Danny Glover's.
Right,
It
right.
actually was not.
Oh really?
They used the sound engineering to make it sound like
Like
Steve
Steve
Buscemi.
Buscemi?
But it was not actually Steve Buscemi.
Oh my god. Huh. That's wild.
And the Detroit ever have a white voice? Because it said online it
Yeah.
was Lily James, but what scene was?
It was when
Was it when her like British
her,
accent?
her art gallery.
British accent?
Yeah.
But I feel that was just more of a British voice. It wasn't really a white
mean,
voice.
Just British people are white generally.
Yeah, but
I mean, yeah, the idea was that she was being completely hypocritical in her criticism of him selling out, by doing a very similar act and also selling out. Hold on. I am going to pause it just for a moment. I don't know, I just said I was going to pause it, but we were talking about actors, and I paused it to show you something.
yeah, I like Army Hammer. That's basically.
Right.
Those were the main ones.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Definitely the movie stayed on message, and I liked what that one person had to say about how it was like the same 2 or 3 ideas just in varying or ascending degrees of obviousness. That's a very interesting thought. No, I definitely left the theater like feeling weird and disoriented about the movie, but I've come to decide that like I loved the movie and would definitely recommend it. and can't wait
How
to.
would you see this thing about this movie in award season?
I would hope it would do somewhat well. Or I'm just
I feel like it's a contender at the Golden Globes.
right.
I don't know about the Oscars though.
I'm
It's a
up.
little, it's a little too niche for the Oscars.
I know that's what I am upset about because everybody freaked out when Get Out came out. They were like, "Oh, this is revolutionary." You know, this movie is talking about racial themes in society, et cetera, et cetera. And then this movie does the
But it's
same.
not that many
or
people watch.
not the same. You're saying not many people watch Sorry to Bother You?
Yeah.
I know, and that's what I'm saying sucks because I feel like the movie almost tackled racial themes almost better than Get Out. I mean,
I
it's
feel like
not,
I did.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Because Get Out was more. It made it more like white people are bad.
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you- if
it's
you-
sort of like
It's more antagonizing white people. I would say.
compared
this one more just
compared
says-
to this movie. Yeah,
Compared to
I
this
would
movie.
say.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, but no, but I mean, it frustrates. I don't think we'll see it at awards season only because it's such like an indie film, that was kind of quietly on the sidelines. But I wish that like everybody had seen this movie because
I
mean,
feel
it's
like it
important.
can make a run at the Golden Globes, but
Right.
I don't know if it'll get anywhere far.
Um,
Just because it doesn't, I don't think it has the. Since it's such an indie movie, I don't know if it has the budget to make a push.
right,
Because a lot of award season is basically how will you market in Hollywood
Right.
for voters.
that's true. I know. I wish that the movie got the same reception that Get Out did. That's what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I would not have seen this movie unless my brother, had said, "Oh, we decided to go see this movie a few days ago," and I was
No,
you know,
I wanted to
and
see this
recommended
movie. I
it
just
to
never
me.
had the time.
Right.
That's-
Right. I was surprised that that like the day that we saw it was like the last day it was in theaters
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, it came out like less than a month ago. I thought.
Because it's such a little bit.
I know, because it's an indie film, but that's just crazy to me. Because Incredibles 2 is still showing.
But that also is one of the highest grossing movies of all time.
I know why. I'm just saying, it's just crazy how.
It's also
how
a good movie.
I know. Did you saw Incredibles 2?
Yeah, I saw it.
That was such a good movie.
I
Such a
feel
good
like the
movie.
first one was better, but it's still.
Really? I haven't seen.
I mean,
the-
just because of nostalgic.
Okay.
Nostalgic.
I haven't seen the first one in a long time, so I haven't seen the first Incredibles in a while, so it's hard for me to compare. But I really liked Incredibles 2, and one thing that I really remember.
That's one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. And because one of the things that I really liked about Incredibles 1 was that the humor is very like witty, and if you're an adult watching the first Incredibles movie, they like still
That's
have
for every Pixar movie.
I would say Incredibles in particular. Incredibles, if you look
What
at,
what Pixar movie has not been not been enjoyed by?
I'm not saying enjoy it.
I
I'm
mean,
just,
but for its wit and for its script
you'd say, I would wait,
by
what?
adults. You said how witty it was with the jokes.
Yeah.
Almost all Pixar movies. Are
No, I would disagree
Which-
100%.
Which movies?
I would say that like Up or Wall-E.
Up
like,
was more enjoyed by adults and for. Its...
I'm not talking about enjoyment. I'm talking about how witty the humor was. Like how much.
Oh no, the humor of Up was geared more towards adults. Than...
No way. I would need to see some examples of that.
I haven't watched Up in 10 years,
Then how can you make that claim?
but I know for sure.
That is such shit.
When you have grown ass men crying in a movie theater because of the first scene of Up,
That's not witty humor if they're crying.
I guarantee it has weight
Okay.
for.
I wish I had more examples right at my fingertips of where The Incredibles is witty, but like you notice like the only example I can possibly think of right now is when they I have an example from 1 and I have an example from 2. 1, when he is getting sued because he saved the guy from committing suicide, First off, that
What
humor
scene was that again? That was,
in the first Incredibles movie
when does he save him from suicide?
the guy jumps off the building and he jumps and he saves the guy.
How early in the movie was this?
This was like first 10 minutes of the movie.
Was this when he was Mr. Incredible?
Yeah, when he was Mr. Incredible.
Okay.
And he gets taken to court and the lawyer and he's like
Blue Mr. Incredible or Red Mr.
Blue
Incredible?
Mr. Incredible.
Okay.
And he's like you ruined or he's like I saved your life and the guy's like no you didn't, you ruined my death. Like that whole scene there is like geared towards adult humor, I would say, to like have somebody suing them because they took away his opportunity to commit suicide. And this example that I have from number 2 is like the one where they're listening to the radio and they're like, monkeys with darts more trusted by the public than Congress, new polls shows.
What
And
was this?
This was in The Incredibles 2.
When?
That's also within like first 10 minutes of the movie. They're sitting in the car and the radio's on and they say, "New poll finds that monkeys with darts more trusted than Congress." And I'm like, that type of humor is obviously not there to make 4 or 5-year-olds laugh. It's there to make like adults who are seeing the movie laugh.
I feel it's the same monkeys with
So,
darts. I feel like kids are gonna laugh. Kids are gonna laugh.
But no, I agree that like if you're a parent, you can enjoy the Pixar movies or things. But I would say like Frozen definitely is not
Frozen's
on
not
the
Pixar.
level of Frozen's not Pixar.
Frozen's not Pixar.
I mix up the two a lot. Okay, well, I would say that most Pixar films are still they're not as witty or geared towards like adult level humor than The Incredibles was.
I don't get that.
I don't know how. I would provide you with evidence.
If you first of all stop spitting out goldfish out of your mouth, and like watch Pixar, you would have to watch a Pixar movie.
That is not.
This is something where you're like, I can't explain.
I have seen like almost every Pixar film
watched them
out
recently.
there. What?
Recently.
Have you watched all the collection of Pixar films recently?
No, but I know for sure.
That's.
I know for sure. Without even having, I will if I watch any Pixar movie and I find a scene, I will send it to you because I know for a fact.
Okay. All right.
There are jokes in there that are witty for adults.
Because we got in an argument over whether or not there's movies that were more geared towards adults than.
And I want you to put a poll on Twitter and fucking find it out. How about that?
I did find an article on it, but I won't read it. But it is talking about all of the adult jokes in The Incredibles, whereas
find adult jokes in all Pixar movies.
That you just brought up Ratatouille, and what I said when we were not rolling, what I said was that Ratatouille is definitely not. You will not find as many adult jokes in there as you did in The Incredibles.
Killed the man with this thumb, dude.
Incredibles, both 1 and 2, have a lot of political humor. Have a lot of like even I was watching Incredibles 2. You and I both looked at each no, I didn't see it.
I don't watch it with
That's right. Okay, well, me and Amy would look at each other. We looked at each other when there was like
adult jokes you never noticed
when
in
they
Pixar.
when they had like raunchy humor. Incredibles 2 even had like raunchy humor in it.
The hooker doll from Toy Story.
I agree. You can find them in every Pixar movie.
Oh, that's not my argument. My argument is that all Pixar movies have adult humor in them.
I know, and my argument is that The Incredibles is by far.
I didn't say it was. I didn't care if it was by far. My argument was if all Pixar movies had this.
So
we're arguing two different things now. Then
I disagree. I think that you are shifting your argument on me.
What was my argument?
I thought that because I had initially said.
This is an audio tape. You could.
I
can go back.
Yeah,
and
we can go back and listen. But I believe that I initially said.
I remember what I said is. Well, you could say that about any Pixar movie.
And what did you say that to? You said that to when I made the claim that The Incredibles was the most witty of the Pixar films.
I meant it as all adult movies. I mean, if you feel like Incredibles is then five, okay, fine.
It's not just my opinion. I mean, this is like I've seen this on the internet that people are like. I remember I told you that I go on like Reddit and read a lot of what people's thoughts on movies. And The Incredibles 2, like, all the top comments were people who were like, oh, thank God The Incredibles 2 preserved the same...
Okay, Toy Story 3,
hey,
no one takes my wife's mouth but me.
I'm going to cut your mic off.
No.
I'm cutting your mic off.
But it's actually a funny joke, though.
I don't care. Listen.
No, this is a funny joke, though. No one takes my wife's mouth but me in Toy Story 3. For Mrs. Potato Head.
I'm not smiling.
I thought it was pretty funny.
You cut me off.
There's no way, kids. That was for kids.
Okay, I agree. Some of those jokes are not for kids. They kind of have to. Every Pixar film somewhat has to appeal to an audience.
Oh my god!
Different than
that's
its target.
Literally what I'm arguing.
No, my base.
First of all, think about why Pixar does this. Pixar does this because
the base argument was that The Incredibles. If you look at all the Pixar films, Incredibles 1 and 2 are, if you're looking at the target audience of these Pixar films, Incredibles 1 and 2 are probably geared towards the oldest target audience, as they have the most amount, they have the biggest amount of political and more adult humor.
Why they do that, though?
Why?
Think about why Pixar, I'm just saying Pixar in general, has witty humor for adults. is because these kids are going with their parents to watch Pixar movies.
Obviously.
So they don't want kids to be bored out of their minds while watching this movie.
You
They
mean
want
adults?
adults, yeah, adults being bored out of their minds when they watch this movie. They want kids and parents to both enjoy the movie at the same time.
Well,
So
yeah,
they
obviously.
sprinkle in stuff like this, but I'm not arguing that Incredibles is the best one.
Right. And
That
I
wasn't
am.
my argument.
I'm arguing that Incredibles, by far, has the most highbrow
I
humor.
can't quantify
That's-
that because I haven't watched every Pixar movie in the last week.
That's how I was asking you how you could even argue that in the first place, and you were like, "Oh, I just know." That's what you said. To
I
me.
no, you were arguing that you're saying that your argument was that I was not right. That
Right,
well,
because
except
you
for
were
any
because,
Pixar movie.
because you said that your argument was not that.
Okay, why? Okay, can we just come to a consensus that like this is basically all opinionated, all based off of opinion?
I don't speak to. I don't believe that what I am saying is fact, but I believe that I'm representing the majority opinion.
No, you're not.
Yes,
What majority?
the majority of movie
Redditors? The majority
of movie watchers. If you ask them in a public opinion poll, I believe that the majority would say yes, Incredibles had the most highbrow humor out of all the Pixar films.
I don't know about that. What Pixar movies are there? Let's look at the Pixar list.
All right, look at the list of Pixar movies.
You're saying the most.
The most,
Okay.
by far,
The most. You
Um,
could be right. I have to look at the.
because I know you said not everything's about politics and political humor, but I think it's a very good. I mean, it's high.
But you're
humor.
basing off political humor, though.
That's a very good indication that it's targeting an older audience. That's like a very politics is a big part of like highbrow humor.
Cars.
Yeah, Cars not.
Yeah,
dealing with sort of
I'm
political
joking.
messaging.
I'm joking. You could. You probably okay. I would say maybe Monsters Inc.
I don't know. I'd have to rewatch Monsters Inc. I could. I mean, not. I don't know that I agree that Monsters Inc. has like more highbrow humor, but I would say that.
I think actually no, I would go with Monsters Inc.
But I would say that maybe Monsters
Of,
Inc.
of how basically it's basically about mundane life working for a corporation, and that's how people can relate with that.
I think I would agree maybe that Monsters Inc. also, like Incredibles, seeks to hit an older target audience than some of those
I'm going
Pixar
with Monsters,
films.
Inc.
But I would
Monsters
say
Inc.'s the best Pixar movie, by the way.
that is so rude.
It
How
is.
that?
What's the best Pixar movie?
Best Pixar movie? Give me a list again. Is Wall-E is Pixar, right?
Yeah, well, Pixar.
I would say probably Wall-E or probably Incredibles. I really liked Incredibles.
Incredibles is 3 for me. 2 is Finding Nemo, though.
Monsters, Finding Nemo is meh. Same with Monsters. Monsters Inc. is good, but Monsters Inc. is good. But I would say that probably best Incredibles and Wall-E. How did you not like Wall-E?
I never said I didn't like Wall-E.
I know, but where would that be then for you?
It's probably mid pack.
Mid pack. What does that mean?
There's better Pixar movies than Wall-E.
How? Do you remember when Wall-E came out? The reception was so good.
I'm not saying it's a bad
No, I know.
movie.
Okay, but you said there are better Pixar.
I said
films,
for
right?
me personally because of what the thing about it is we watched the movies as kids.
Because I remember the reception being very, very good for Wall-E compared to other Pixar
If I
films.
rank Pixar movies, this is what I would do. I would do Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, Incredibles. And I'm not counting any sequels. Sequels don't count.
I agree. Monsters University, if we were counting,
And Incredibles 2 doesn't count.
fine.
For the sake of this argument.
Mhm.
But I only like Monsters University for nostalgic reasons. I don't like as the movie itself wasn't that good. Those are the top 3.
Because Wall-E was just like so profound.
4 was Toy Story. But you can also say Wall-E was also highbrow humor for geared towards adults.
I mean, no, I still wouldn't. I would say
4 was
No.
Toy Story. 5 was Ratatouille. 6 was Up. And 7 was Wall-E.
when I think about the humor in Wall-E, all I think about is Wall-E in that montage where he's trying to take care of Evie, and he gets electrocuted, and I'm like, I don't know, that was highbrow humor, but
Well, what would your have you have a computer out? Look up your list of.
I think that Wall-E is probably one of the best Pixar films out there because it's very profound.
Also, when we talk about Pixar movies, like some of the worst Pixar movies are some of the best movies of all time. If you're mid-pack Pixar, you're still in good company of being a great movie.
Yeah, I agree. Pixar films are good. I would, if I had to say, a movie that
It's like haggling for a cent off gas.
If I had to say a movie that was made by Pixar that came the closest to The Incredibles in having highbrow humor, I would say Toy Story 3.
Okay,
because that was a lot more adult.
Yeah, okay.
As well.
I can agree with that.
Right.
Actually, I think my pick probably for be most highbrow would probably be Toy Story 3. I feel like it was more well received by adults than kids.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree that the reception was better from adults because like it's pretty adult for Pixar because there's like death and there's like violence and
compassion, like basically like knowing you're about to like.
Yeah, there was like a lot more adult themes in that movie.
I would need to remember what the humor was
like. Yeah, relatable sake too, but
okay.
I don't know. I agree though that Pixar films are good. All right, I've been asked to give my ranking for Pixar before we move on to the last topic today. Ranking on Pixar. All right, I'll pull up a list of Pixar films. Hold on. This mic is so annoying. I have no idea where I'm gonna put it. Where's my mouse? All right, there it is.
And sequels do not count.
Can't we? We can count sequels.
Well, I didn't count sequels.
Because Toy Story, I was not a fan of that movie. Okay, compared to other Pixar films. Toy Story 3, though, one of the best Pixar films out there.
No, I'm not counting. I won't count sequels.
Okay.
I'm saying by franchise. We'll just do by franchise.
By franchises, because again, Toy Story 2 was not great.
Toy Story is the most forgettable.
Toy Story, you feel like it's
two.
forgettable?
Toy Story 2.
Oh, 2. Yeah. Okay.
It's the most forgettable. Still, if you rewatch it, still a good movie.
But I don't like the cutting out sequels thing because I think sequels are where they tend to shine. Like Cars, it's respectable. Cars 2, very good movie.
Cars 2 is one of the worst movies of all time.
Of all time in the history of movies.
They become counter terrorists.
I watched that movie like 3 times in theaters.
Yeah, when you were a kid.
These movies are literally
First
made
of
for
Cars
kids.
2 is the only.
Movies are made
Cars
for kids,
2
okay?
is the only.
If I'm a kid and I'm saying I enjoyed Cars 2, then that means that my opinion is valid.
Is the only movie to have a Rotten Score Rotten Tomatoes by Pixar.
Really?
Yeah, 39%.
All right, that's a fair argument. I have a fair argument then.
Metacritic's at 57 out of 100.
I never saw Brave.
I don't want to watch. If you had the chance to change your fate, would ya?
Yeah.
I was just mad that Brave won over Wreck-It Ralph at the Oscars.
Oh, Wreck-It Ralph is Pixar, right?
No, Wreck-It Ralph's not Pixar. It's just Disney, I think.
When are Disney and Pixar different? When are they the same?
I don't know. Ever since Disney went 3D, it's been really hard.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna say I like Toy Story 3. I like WALL-E. Monsters Inc.'s good, and Incredibles 1 and 2 are both fantastic. Those are probably all in my tops.
Okay.
All right. So you want to talk about Lala?
Yeah.
You went to Lala. I didn't. You get your minutes to talk, but I don't know how we're gonna deal with this.
It's pretty good.
Okay. Nice.
Who would you want to? If you had the chance to go to Lala, who would you see?
This year?
This year.
Well, I was upset that I didn't get to see Vampire Weekend.
I wasn't gonna see them.
I would have seen them. Otherwise, honestly, not a lot of people at Lala.
It was more rap this year.
Well, and I'm okay with rap, but so yeah, if I had gone, one band, I guess, one group that I knew was there that I'm actually not a big fan of is Arctic Monkeys.
I heard they were really good though.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see
Maybe
them.
It could be.
I mean, they were really good.
I'm just not like, I don't know, their music is met to me, but I say that to like Karina or Amy or any of that, like they just like, it's heresy.
Nobody knows who the hell Karina or Amy is.
Oh, okay. Well, my girlfriend or friends that we know, it is heresy to say I don't like Arctic Monkeys, but who was playing at the same time? Was it Travis Scott?
Travis Scott at the same time.
Same time?
Travis Scott was so good. That was probably the best performance I've ever seen ever.
Wow.
By far. And I've seen Linkin Park live. I've seen Linkin Park live. Are you gonna come like spiraling
this
through
is
the air,
this guy.
spiraling through the air, going. "Ah."
This guy loves Linkin Park, so
It's-
AKA
it's-
his credibility
so
in
it's
music is
treason
just
then.
destroyed.
So it's
Ah.
treason then.
There you go.
You don't know that meme?
I do. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. You shouldn't have mentioned your infatuation with Linkin Park.
A two-time Grammy Award-winning artist. This sounds
Yeah.
pretty.
I think it destroys your credibility.
How?
Linkin Park is like saying
They're one of
that
the
your favorite band is Coldplay.
I'm pretty like 2008 Coldplay was still good.
Oh, good. Akash, stop digging.
A lot of people like just because Family Guy doesn't like Coldplay doesn't mean that everyone doesn't like Coldplay.
I mean, I don't like Coldplay anymore.
I don't like Coldplay anymore either.
But you still like Linkin Park.
Yeah. I do.
How? There's like Linkin Park.
Their new stuff is not as good. I'll say that.
You're the only person I know who actually does not think negative things about Linkin Park.
No, I think their new stuff's pretty bad.
But do you think that the general, like most people like Linkin Park or no?
No, only like South Americans like Linkin Park now. South Americans and Asians.
That's an interesting demographic. How'd you pull that?
Oh, it's like you can like look up.
Oh, really?
Because they still sell out stadiums, like in
Like-
Japan. Because like two members of the band are Asian.
Okay.
And they're really big in like Brazil. I don't know why, but they just are.
All right, so we have essentially 4 minutes before I'm cutting this off. I want to talk about one thing too really quickly.
I ain't gonna say what was my favorite performances from.
I thought you just did.
I
You
said
Travis
one
Scott was
performance.
the best performance we've ever seen ever.
And you made fun of me for liking Linkin Park for the next 3 minutes.
Go on, say it.
Bruno Mars was really good live.
Cool.
You don't like Bruno Mars, do you?
No, I'm fine with him. He's good.
Weekend is really good.
I mean, okay, Weekend don't like. Bruno
Why?
Mars.
Why don't you like the Weekend?
So
And
I,
he just cut something out.
I know I
So it's
did
gonna
just cut
sound
something
bad.
out. But either way, so you asked why? Yeah. So the Weekend. I mean, as I confirmed with you, Starboy is a song by them, and I had heard that.
Why are you saying them still?
I'm sorry, not him. You're right, him. But I hate that song. It was overplayed on the radio.
I still like that song.
That and it was the song by the Chainsmokers, Closer. Those two songs were literally the only two things on the radio for like a whole 6 months. I hated music during that time period. I was just like,
Could you only listen to pop radio then?
What?
If those are the only two songs you listen to on the radio.
Okay, but pop radio crap that's like so mainstream like that, like how do you like that song? That song is so bad.
It's the symbolism
It
of the
was
song. If you look at the
overplayed.
symbolism and the lyrics of the song.
Oh, you're going on Genius every day and reading.
For certain songs, yeah.
Mm.
Like Travis Scott's new album was amazing. It wasn't the best album of the year, but it was still really good.
I don't know. My music tastes are very indie. You like very mainstream stuff.
I like Linkin Park.
You like okay, that's fair.
uh,
Yeah, that's fair. Do you have anything more to add about Lala? Or can I
unless
make
they were
a
good. I mean,
recommendation?
Playboy Cardi and Uzi were good. I mean, that's basically all I have to say.
Okay.
Logic, yeah.
Billie
Billie Eilish was good too.
So
Billie Eilish is not even a rapper. She's not even mainstream though. You don't even know what that is.
I don't actually.
Yeah, exactly.
You say yeah, exactly. Like I don't know anything about music, but it's just I don't know anything about your music.
That's not even. It's that's like Halsey Lana Del Rey music.
Okay, what's your point?
That's like what's my music?
I would just say that your music is like A, rap artists that a lot of people haven't heard of, and B, it's like mainstream pop. Which
No,
I steer
I've
clear
not
of
listened to
anyway.
mainstream pop in like 2 years ever since I got
We were
Spotify.
just literally just talking about Weekend. I would say Weekend.
That's
is
not mainstream pop.
Yes, you literally just said, "Oh, if you
It's
heard,
mainstream
if you heard,
art-
this is what
it's
you said. This is what-
mainstream
I'm gonna
R&B.
repeat you from 2 minutes ago, Mister, about Starboy. You're like, "Oh, you must have been listening to pop radio if that's all you heard for 6 months."
I listen to
Okay.
other Weekend songs.
I know, but I'm just saying you literally categorized them as being a.
Why are you saying
being him
them?
as an artist that would be played on a pop radio?
Okay,
there you
but
go.
I listen to Weekend's older stuff too.
Okay, I'm just saying. I think okay, whether or not you like mainstream or you agree with the type. I mean, I don't know what type of music you like, but all I'm saying is you're berating me for not knowing who certain artists are. But
I
you
wouldn't
don't
have expected you to know who Billie Eilish was. I didn't even know she wasn't until like a month ago.
Do you know who Iron and Blood is, or Iron and Wine? Excuse me, Iron and Blood's a different thing. Iron and Wine.
Is Iron and Blood like the guns, germs, and steel thing? No,
No. Iron and Wine.
I don't know that.
There you go. Okay.
Is it a
Well,
band?
it is a band. It's a good band too.
You know who?
Attaboy is also a good
You
band.
know, Greta Van Fleet.
Do you know Real Estate?
It's for real estate.
Shut up. All right, so now we're at 50 minutes. So I'm going to go very quickly and talk about a
What?
recommendation of mine. I just recently saw I just recently watched a documentary series because talked to multiple people in the past few months with very similar music taste as me, and they all recommended me this show. It's on Netflix. It's a documentary, I guess, more a
To
documentary
make a
series.
murderer.
No, but I did see that. Making a Murder was good. But it's called Wild Wild Country.
I don't know that.
And I was, even though these people had the exact same TV taste as me, and they recommended it to me, I just kind of brushed it off. But then my brother showed me a trailer for it, and I was very hooked, and I watched all 6 episodes already of it.
It's
It
like
is
an hour
so
long.
good. Hour-long episodes,
Okay.
so it's about 6 hours, the entire thing. It's very, very good. It's about a religious cult that moves into rural Oregon, and the United States government is not happy that they're like trying to
Oh,
establish
is it
a
like a
city.
true
Oh,
it's
it's
true
documentary.
documentary? Okay.
It's a true story, and it is really, really good and very nail biting. And I would recommend that to
Is it
everybody.
is it like on par with like with Making a Murder?
I would say it's better than Making a Murder.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
How about the first 48 hours?
Yeah. I would say though, if you're because I know you like to be critical of this type of thing, if you do watch it on Netflix, which I recommend that you do, know that the first episode is really slow.
All that.
The first episode's really slow. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth is very nail biting.
Is the first one just a lot of exposition, or is
Yeah,
it?
it's
Oh,
literally that.
okay.
It's just like background.
But that's not slow then.
Yeah, I know. It's not as nearly as indicative of the
Okay.
excitement that you'd see.
I mean, if the first one's slow
subsequent
just because of
episodes.
exposition,
Yeah,
that's
it's
not
basically
a
that.
problem.
Yeah, but you should watch that, and anybody who listens should watch that as well. So, okay. With that, we had some intense debates today.
A lot of
But
off mic debates too. That
yeah,
were good.
we we got into some off mic debates too. We're like, I'm stopping this. We're gonna and then yeah. Oh well.
So that is the Brussian experience. Are we gonna do one more before college, or?
Yeah, before college for sure.
We-
We leave for college in like 2 weeks from today. So yeah, of course we will. But this has been the Russian Experience. I'm Andrew Przeworski.
I'm Akarsh from Kalapati.
We'll work on an outro too.